Thank you so much. I know it's a tough one, just possibly the last session before lunch, is it correct? Almost there, and I think we've had some lovely speakers right before me, so it's a tough one, but I'll try and do justice. If someone were to ask me what is tougher, doing this session just before lunch or winning an argument with my wife, and she's a tough one, let me tell you that. She's really, really tough. I think I'd say the making impact one is tougher. Well, in the other case, I still have a chance. Here, I might just go through. So, look forward to your cooperation, support, and I'll dive into the session. Thank you so much to the faculty management of Taxila Business School. Also, thank you to the FDWA for this opportunity. It's a pleasure being here today. I'll spend some time talking to you about challenges and opportunities in the India market and what talent really needs to do to kind of rise to the occasion. Now, if you think about it, we really need to learn from history. And I'm a firm believer of that. That to look forward, sometimes you need to look back. And what I like to do is look at my own journey in the context of what India has been through to try and bring a flavor of what we can expect going forward. So that's me. Somewhere around 2000, I completed my education, studied hospitality, did an MBA. My college life was very similar to yours. I was also a student. Professor Rizvi said, "Dil ligi mat karo, but wo ho jati hai." And there were a number of occasions where I got rejections. I got rejections from top companies when it came to placements. I got rejection from top girls when it came to proposals. And then my campus had these steps, like an amphitheater kind of steps. They used to face the road. I was in Bombay. I don't know if your campus has any steps like that, but I can see some of the boys smiling, so maybe there is some level of familiarity. So I used to sit on the steps and cry. I literally cried every time when that company rejected me or that girl rejected me. And every time a car used to go down that road, it used to feel like my dream company is going away or my dream girl is going away. But having said that, abhi tak survive kar liya hai. So life turns out fine. This is the message I want to give you. Now this first phase of 2000 to 2010 is also the phase, if you might want to kind of refresh your memories, is the time where India came onto the global map, right? Y2K happened, the IT sector blew up, suddenly India got recognized. Before that, we were seen as a sort of nation of elephant riders, snake charmers and all of that. But luckily for us, opportunities really blew up. And I managed to get into a very good IT company and build my career from there. So the first phase is what I call the build phase. During this phase, I also finally managed to get a young lady to say yes to me. We got married. Thankfully, now it still survives to this day. I have 2 daughters. So the first daughter happened in this decade. So again, a build phase. We managed to build a house. And like many good Indians, locked ourselves into a EMI, which became a noose around the throat. So EMI dete, that decade started. And that was my build phase. And that was a build phase for India as well in a lot of ways. The next decade, 2010 to 2020, was what I call the consolidation phase. India really blew up in a big way. Of course, we had Lehman Brothers collapse, bank collapse around 2008. But after that, things recovered. We had other sectors like entertainment, insurance, financial services, which also got into the mix. And all of us there at that point, including me, rode the wave. So we grew fast. Every year, promotions, bonuses, job opportunities, left, right, center. And literally one didn't have to do much. Well, automatically ho raha tha, I'll be very honest. And I would also say this for a fact that a lot of undeserving people also got carried away the wave. It happens, but that happens in good times. Fast forward to 2020, right? And just before that, something happened, a midlife crisis, if you will. I'm in that mid-40s range. I decided that let me try something of my own. And entrepreneurship, ida got to me. So I took a break. I said, let me try it. And unfortunately, COVID happened that same year, 2020. Destroyed everything. So what do? I recover quickly. I get back into the corporate world. This time in a new industry, which is the PR world. And this phase is what I call the reinvention phase, 2020 to 2030. Now I do not restrict myself to one role, one organization or one, kind of career path. So along the way, I've also written a book, so I'm a so-called author. I have also been part of what is called the LinkedIn Creator Program. They selected top creators, so I am active on LinkedIn. I'm part of what you could possibly say creator economy. And if you notice one common thread about a lot of people who are here, including Harjeet sir, who's a role model for a lot of us, including me, that now the era has started where you will do multiple things as you go forward. You will not just be a doctor. You will not just be a boutique owner. Today, a lot of doctors, for example, have very, very remunerative YouTube channels where they guide people and they're actually a source of revenue for them. So that's the kind of time we're living in. What, can you click again? What will I do in the decade starting 2030? Frankly, I don't know. And I'll answer this question right at the end. Maybe there is some idea I have, but we'll have to come to that slide to answer and understand. Next. Some technical issues there, but to now get into the sense of what are the challenges and how do we kind of overcome them going forward. The first challenge, actually, the way I see it, is the demographic dividend. Now, largely, broadly speaking, this means the number of employable youth available in a country. In 2000s, when I started off, this was seen as a big plus that India has this powerhouse of young talent. They are well educated. They have good brand, skills in English. They are very strong on mathematics. And the point is that they will now feed India and make it this big powerhouse in the global economy. And a lot of that has happened. But today there's a twist. The twist is generative AI, or what we also heard in the other sessions. Loosely we call it Chat GPT. A lot of the grunt work is now being done by these bots, by this automation. And in fact, I don't know if you read the newspapers, the CEO of TCS, Mr. Prithvivasan, recently made a comment, and this should scare all of us. He said in less than 2 years, almost all call center business will go away. That's the CEO of TCS. I'm repeating it. In less than 2 years, almost all the contact center business will go away. What is contact center? Call center. Why is it important? Because they hire in thousands. I have worked in some of them myself in my career. We used to hire 4, 5, 6,000 young kids out of campuses every week. Now the point is, if those businesses shut down, where do all those youth go? And India, World Bank report says, we need 10 million jobs every year just to keep our population engaged. That's a huge number. Just think about it. So it is a scary time. Can you move forward? The biggest one also is a skills mismatch situation. Now, again, some of you who are engineers or are doing engineering would realize that when you join a large IT company, for the first 6 to 9 months, they will sit and train you. Because what you've learned in the past is not relevant to what they need you for. And that has been the cycle going on for the last 15 years, I've seen it. In almost all industries today, there is this so-called training program where they get you ready for actually doing the kind of work you're required to do. Now, it worked for us because companies had the time, the bandwidth, and the resources to do it. But the economy is now a little shaky. And they want people who are ready-made. People who have learned, already studied the technology, and they will be ready to perform the day they are hired. So the onus now is not on the companies, but on you. And we also saw that immediately after the pandemic. If some of your elder brothers, sisters, you would have seen that some of them who had the right technology or qualification, they got hikes at double, triple what they were earning. People are shifting jobs every few months. 6 months they would work somewhere, get a hike, then move to another organization. But today in 2024, that has slowed down. That is not happening to the level. That's fact. Please move on. The other big challenge before us as a society is also the gender inequality. Being very honest about it, I think we are in a metro city, we are in a good institute. You will probably not be feeling it as much. But the fact is that today women still struggle to get their voice heard in corporate workplaces. They still struggle in their homes, in society, to be able to do things they want to do. Now, I'm in the PR industry now. First time in my career, 3 years down. For the first time, we have 70% women and 30% men in the company, right? This is a very unique industry. For the previous 20 years when I worked in IT, hospitality, education, it was a reverse ratio. There were 60-70% men and 30% women. And my target as an HR person or a recruiter was कि women की percentage company में बढ़ाओ, hire more women candidates, because we also wanted to encourage women participation. There is another truth which all of us, I think even the men senior leaders sitting in this room will agree, is that on the home front also, women carry a larger share of the workload. What the kids are doing, what is the menu for the week, elderly parents का health क्या है. My wife knows 10x of what I do, and I'm admitting it here. But it's conscious, at least I'm aware of it, I'm taking steps to address that. That's all of us in the room, men at least, need to open our minds and start understanding that we need to fix this gap. Because if India needs to move forward, we really need the women participation to increase. So the opportunities before us. Now technology is a double-edged sword, right? We have at one end ChatGPT, which is going to shake all businesses. It's creating its furor everywhere. At the same time, it's a huge opportunity because now you have literally computing power in your mobile phone. 10 years ago, you needed fancy systems, you needed sophisticated technology to help you do your work. Today, you have a phone which can do video editing, can do voice translations, what have you. All it needs is some amount of application. At the same time, there are other aspects of technology, robotics, augmented reality. These are things that you really need to kind of start opening up to and studying, reading. And you have YouTube today. It's the biggest teacher in the world. I won't say best because the best is sitting in the room. But at least you'll give insight into what's happening in a Japan or a Korea or the US. The companies or the countries or the economies that Saurabh earlier spoke about. Because this crazy amount of innovation happening, it's mind-boggling. I mean, if you get a chance, you must visit, you must travel, explore, because that will just open up your mind to the possibilities of technology. I could spend hours talking about some of my experiences, but I don't want to do that now in the interest of time. The last point or the opportunity really before you guys, and think about it very seriously, because as a parent of two girls, I also kind of think about this very much on an ongoing basis. When we passed out of college, there was a traditional path where company ID placement ke liye, I'll apply for it and hopefully get selected into a good brand, start my career management training and I'll be sorted for life. Today, you not only have that, you have the option of a gig economy, which is freelancing projects. I know some very smart young kids who are sitting out of small towns who are working for the US market, earning in dollars, right? They've just taken the initiative. You have the advantage of the creator economy. Again, all you need is a mobile phone. Today, if I look at my 10-year-old and I give her or she takes my phone when we go for our annual holiday, the first thing she does is, she enters the hotel lobby, she takes or my phone, gives it to the elder sister, she says, make a recording, and she starts, hi, I'm Vikas Dua, I've entered to Bali Hyatt, and this is the waterfall, and this side is the beach, you can see it here, please zoom here. And that's a 10-year-old kid, because they've grown up with this technology. And they're going to, and I'm very happy because I tell you, it's okay, she's maybe playing acting on a mobile phone, but if she's comfortable with this today, hopefully she converts it to some sort of passion, business, venture tomorrow. It could be, for example, a video channel of hers. And many such channels earn in, thousands of dollars every month. So think about the options available to you. My only guidance is that use technology very smartly. Don't be a slave to it. My guidance to most of the people that I meet is, if you're using a mobile phone, see whether you're using for consumption or for creating. The moment you're on Instagram and just clicking on reels and watching, you're done. But if you're the one on the other side who's creating reels and able to get a 100K followership and then getting a revenue stream through Instagram, then you're the smart guy in the room. Because you're basically taking an advantage or benefiting from the foolishness of the others. So these social media apps are all a sort of a trap in a sense, but the more you get into them, the more you are able to use them for your own benefit, whether it's for creating a profile and standing out on a platform and become a so-called influencer, or actually earning money out of it. That's a choice you have. So those are the avenues today. And then you have the startup ecosystem also, which, again, Amit Jain, Car Dekho, brilliant example from your own state, from your own city, who was now a shark on Shark Tank. Great inspiration. So the opportunities are limitless. You've just got to make sure that you kind of utilize your 24 hours smartly, look ahead, and make the most of it. I get to meet a lot of CXOs, CEOs in my time as an HR head at various industry forums. Believe you me, they are so optimistic about this next decade. We're already the fifth largest economy. They feel that the next 10 years are just going to be transformative. So it's time for you guys to ride the wave. But you got to ride the wave by thinking and planning smartly. वो बैठे बैठे नहीं होगा, right? So that's my parting thought. Just last slide. I think I'm good on time. I think the point is to round up 2030. What do I see myself as? Not a Babaji. I'm not going anywhere and doing any sort of meditation. But yes, I think I'll be at peace with myself with whatever I'm doing because there is a strategy, there is a plan, and there is a constant reinvention happening, right? So to recap, in all your lives there will be a build, there will be a consolidate, there will be a reinvention phase. In my case, it has taken 25, 30 years. In your case, you'll have to do it in 5 years because the world is changing much more faster. So what you do for 2 years will suddenly get disrupted and you'll have to say, oh, what do I do next? So make sure that you're working on 2-3 things at the same time, developing your passions, working hard, building your credibility, and there's no reason that you'll not succeed. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of a talk. Wish you all the best. Thanks.